forgot to talk to you guys at all when we were in Colorado, so this is just gonna be a little bit of me talking about what we did, what I thought about certain things that we did. I really hope you guys are enjoying my videos, and trust me, there might not be as many vlogs coming up because I'm gonna be doing actually a lot of other videos for you guys. Okay, so our first day in Colorado, we stayed at Fort Collins. So we got to Fort Collins and it was pretty early. They let us check in. One of the places I want to tell you guys about is we ate at I think it was Good Times, and it was like a fast food like restaurant, and I think it's only Colorado based, but I'm not 100% sure. They had just like cheeseburgers. I don't know if they had chicken or not, but like they had corn dogs and fries and everything. I was not that hungry, so my mom and I had the corn dogs and fries, and then my dad had the cheeseburger. He said the cheeseburger was really good. And then like the fries, I mean the corn dog was just, you know, like a corn dog. I mean it was good, but like the fries were really good. So yeah, like there was nothing really to complain about. I wouldn't say it was like the greatest thing, you know what I mean? Like it was like a fast food restaurant, but it was really good, really fast. So I want to say like maybe a 4 out of 5 is what I would choose to do it, because like I mean all I did have was the corn dog too. But other than that, we kind of went shopping a little bit. We went to Ragstock. I've never been into a Ragstock, and I did not know that they had an online store. But I found they're kind of like a vintage, like used and new, like vintage clothing store. And like I found a couple of things. We went into this really cool store. It was like a record store. And yeah, they had like posters, they had records everywhere, they had speakers and like old equipment and stuff like that. That was pretty cool to see. We didn't buy anything there, but you know, just kind of browsing, looking around, seeing things that you don't get to see like where you live. Then the next place that we went to from there was this cute little bookstore, and I want to say it said like it was called Bookstore on the Square, I think it is, and it's like the old town like square there in Fort Collins. And I want to say it's like just its own little like cute family owned bookstore. It was cute. I just kind of put myself on like a book buying ban unless it's on my TBR. So of course I didn't find anything that was on my TBR, and so I didn't buy anything there, but they did have some cute things. And then we went to like a local shop that like carried like local made jewelry and like wooden carved stuff and like stuff that like the Indians and stuff like that made and everything, and it was so pretty and everything, but some of it was expensive and didn't really have a place for it or anything, so didn't buy anything there. We just think I went to because there was another locally owned bookstore, and it was called Indigo Rose Bookstore, I think, downtown Fort Collins. It was cute, but you had to like go upstairs, and it was all these stairs and everything. And then I cannot remember the little elderly guy's name, but he was so adorable, and he was helping me try to find, because like I said, I was only looking for books that are on my TBR. That's why I didn't really care, because some of them could be like used books. He didn't have any there, but he had like room plus room plus room plus room full of books, and I mean floor to ceiling filled with books. Cute little place. I like his little setup, cute guy and everything. Went on to, my mom wanted to go to TJ Maxx. On our way by, there was a Old Navy and Barnes & Noble, so we went into there. I went into Old Navy, and I have actually recently started liking their clothes more. When I was younger, I did not really like the style of their clothes, but their like jeans and their shorts are usually actually on a really good deal. Like the shorts that I'm wearing right now are from Old Navy, and they were, I think, originally 30 bucks or something like that, and they were half price, so I got them for 15 bucks. I think that's heck of a deal, especially nowadays, and especially clothes and finding good quality stuff. I will say they kind of fry up, they're kind of tight fitting, but I don't mind them. I think this is my second time wearing them, so like, yeah, it's good for the price, especially. So then we went to Barnes & Noble, and I've literally looked at Barnes & Noble here where I live, and then I went down to Florida and I looked at a Barnes & Noble in Daytona. I looked at a Barnes & Noble in Ocala, Florida, and then when we came back, I looked at our local Barnes & Noble, and then I looked at the 2 local bookstores, and then also I went to that Barnes & Noble, and like there's 3 books, and I've been looking for them for that long that I literally cannot find them anywhere, so I'm gonna have to get them offline. But yeah, I did wind up finding 1 book, and it was the number 2 in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, which is Heartless. So yeah, and then we just went back to our hotel to check on Snickers and walked her and everything. We chilled in the hotel, ordered some Domino's, and just kind of had a nice relaxing night. And sometimes that's okay to do that, especially if you've been, you know, gone all day. You just kind of want a night like that, even if you're on a little trip. Okay, and then the other thing about this trip is like it was either storming or raining a lot of the time, so we didn't actually get to do everything that we wanted to do. So maybe sometime I can go back and do that. Snickers.
What's gonna be? Yes.
And Estes, when we got there, it was like 70 degrees up there, which was like perfect. It was nice. But yeah, so we just kind of walked the strip, like the main strip there in Estes, and went into some stores. We went into like, I can't remember what store it was, but it was like, you know, kind of like the where you could get shirts and everything for like being there that says like you were in Estes. So we all got like sweatshirts, and then the one cool thing is like they're putting in the Stanley chocolate shop. It was time to go to the Stanley. I was really excited to go on the Stanley tour, and like, you know, they say how it's like pretty haunted, and you know, it's famously because Stephen King wrote The Shining about staying at the Stanley. But so we just thought that we wanted a little bit more of that instead of just the history of the Stanley itself. So we did take the tour, and it was the Stephen King tour, I think. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool, like some of the stuff that we got to see. Yeah, like an hour it was, and like when we got there, they directed us to the basement, so we literally went to the basement. And then we got some drinks and everything and was waiting for the tour to start. The guy met us in like this little basement room where the tour starts. And then he told us a little bit about the tour, told us a little bit about the backstory and about like F.O. Stanley and his brother and F.O.'s wife and everything who like built the Stanley. And then they told us to like meet up there by, they have like a Stanley steamer in the lobby. So like we went up there to meet the guy that was giving us the tour upstairs, and then he told us a little bit about the lobbying, about a couple of the rooms that were up there, but we couldn't go in the rooms. And then literally we went outside, and then we saw like the hedge maze, but we also saw that when we entered. We saw that, and then we saw room 217's balcony and told us a little bit about that. Told us a little bit about the area, the mountains, and what it was like back in the day when it was built. And then they also took us to like a couple of these other outbuildings that they had, like that they've had like ghost sightings and everything, and like we didn't see anything. I mean, a little bit of like the backstory, the story about the people that built the Stanley, and then like a little bit of the intel that you get about Stephen King and how he like wrote The Shining and everything, and like some of the references from like the book to actually the Stanley is pretty cool to learn that. But I bet I probably could have found that online and read that online. And then we had to walk all the way back down, and then they showed us this house, and like I can't remember if it was like the caretaker or who it was, but like this guy lived there and his family and everything, and so they redone it and everything, so it was kind of cool to see it. It was cute and stuff like that. And then there was an upstairs, and I went upstairs, and like they had the room where it looked like from the actual Shining, the room from the actual movie, and then the bathroom from the actual movie, and then they had like a twins bedroom, and then they had like this suite and everything. It was cool to see, but it really didn't have too much to do with actual Stephen King or anything. And then once we went downstairs, so that was it. That was the end of the tour. So I think for like, you have to pay $30 per person to take that tour. I think it was kind of a stupid tour. Like, I'm not trying to be mean about it, but it just wasn't really worth the money, because I'm pretty sure there was like another tour going on, and you actually got to go in the Stanley and like get to be on the floors and everything. So I think that was the Stanley tour, so I kind of wish we would have took that one. But we were like, okay, you know, it's fine, it's good. We just kind of like whatever. But like, yeah, so the tour guide, I would say he was 5 out of 5. He was a good tour guide. He was funny. He had a lot of info, and like you asked him questions, he answered it, and he knew the answer to the questions. So like, he was good. It was nothing to do with him. But the tour that the actual Stanley set up, yeah, it was pretty lame, I would say. Like, you didn't really get to see much. You didn't really get to see or like anything to do with Stephen King, pretty much. And yeah, like I said, you didn't get a tour of the grounds, or anything. You just get a tour of the lobby, and you get to see the basement, and then you get to see outside the hedge maze. And then they take you out, and they show you these 2 outbuildings, and like one only has like props and everything from the movies, and like where ghosts and things have been sighted there. And then that last building that I was telling you about. So yeah, like I would say like the tour itself was probably like a 2 out of 5 star. That's how disappointed we were. But yeah, the tour kind of sucked. So I'd like to go back and maybe actually do the Stanley tour, and actually maybe get to go up the levels, the floors and everything, but you know. And then the other thing that we did get to see was F.O. Stanley's first house. They built like, I think it was like a 6-bedroom or something like that house, and they said it was not big enough for all their guests. but it's just literally a mile straight down that road that you are on, like when you leave the Stanley. And yeah, it's like a mile down the road, so we pulled in there, got a photo of that. That was kind of cool to see that, and it is actually a museum, but you have to request to like have a tour of it. But yeah, so we at least got the photo. I seen that they had one there, and we had to go and try it. I tried it once when we were in Vegas for, I think it was the BTS concert, so that was in 22, I think. And then like we had it now in Colorado, and that was In-N-Out Burger. And like I heard some people say, like my family said that they tried it and they're like, oh, I don't know why like people like rave about it and everything, but like literally the first time we had it, 5 out of 5. And then this time that we had it here in Colorado, 5 out of 5. The fries were flippin' delicious. They were really fast, even though they were really, really busy. And then like the burger, for it being, it's almost kind of like, I would say like a McDonald's burger, but it has so much more flavor. It's not greasy, and it doesn't taste like it's been sitting around for a while or anything. Like it's really, really good. So yeah, 5 out of 5. I would literally go back to In-N-Out Burger again. I will probably show you guys a little montage maybe of what I got there in Colorado, and that would be the end of this video. So if you guys made it this far, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and let me know down in the comments what videos you would like to see from me. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I hope to see you in my next video. I love you. Have a good day.